Hey, we're back. We did it again. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Carvers and Creators, a weekly demonstration and discussion with sculptors, carvers, and multi-talented artists from around the world. If you're a fan of the show and you like what we do, give us a like and a follow in the comment section, and let us know where you're watching from in the comment section. We love that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, why not?
Let's meet the artists. Well, first, it's my good buddy, the amazing sculptor from Tucson, Arizona. It's Mr. Matt Hopper. He's right above me.
Yay.
I know. Hello, guys.
My name's Paul Dever. I'm an artist and sculptor from Boston, Massachusetts. And our guest tonight is an award-winning makeup effects artist and the founder and CEO of MastersFX Studios. Tonight, we're hanging with the great Todd Masters.
Thank you. Thank you.
Crowd goes wild.
Speeches. Speech.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Todd. This is a big deal for us. We are huge fans of it.
Thanks for the invite. It was the best thing I had going all day, so I even dressed up.
Hit my eye. Well, welcome to the show. This is going to be a fun-filled hour of. It's going to basically be the Todd hour, but what we generally like to do is we like to start off by touching back on the last episode of what the carving challenge was to see what it was, because we never finished the carve during the show. So before we start the show, we have to reminisce on the previous show. And what was it? A sleepy fantasy character?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was a sleepy fantasy character. So the wheel we spent twice. You'll get introduced in a second, but this one was. I love the fact that we could do a fantasy character. This is Paul's, so we will have you. I'll gush about it for a second because I love the wrinkles in it. That's like cool as hell. I love how you did that. But the fact that it's a fantasy character kind of lends itself to being pretty open to interpretation. Huh?
Yeah, you know what happened is it had a rot spot on the back, so I had to redo the face on the front. I can't keep pumpkins; they don't last for me. They just rot. Feel like I left a little on the table. I got a little rush there. I was gonna glue some ears, get some ears going in there, so it had that not just a round ball shape, but I got it done.
Yep.
You ain't finding that in the zoo. That's
yeah. And it's whatever it is, it's asleep, which is the big part. Yeah.
He went past
sleepy. Is it asleep or just stoned? I thought it was kind of a stoned critter.
But isn't that always what you used to say when somebody busted you for being stoned? You'd be like, "No, I'm just tired."
Just tired.
Oh, you're right.
Sleepy.
It's great personality. A really cool.
Yeah, exactly. This was my interpretation. I kind of wanted to go a goat boy, but like the goats always have those spiky ears and all the horns. Well, I want to do the lop-eared ones, So he's a fantasy character. You kind of gave him those big dopey eyes,
I really like this one. I like the separation, like the eyes and everything. Did you glue the ears on? Is that part of it?
It was all part of the shape of the outside. It had that really kind of a big ball in the middle, and so I was able to do it all in one piece, so I didn't have to clean anything else.
The brow, like where the ear sits on the brow and the undercut you did, it's like really
expressive. Yeah.
Thank you.
As a dude.
I kept thinking like goats have their eyes on the side of their head, so I kept pushing them back. So I wanted to make it a little more goaty than human, but
Yeah.
No, I love the separation between the eyes.
That's really cool. I like the nose too. The nose has got a really nice style to it. And is that like you actually got nose texture in that material? That's so cool.
You know what I do is I took a little tiny like a brass tool that has like a half circle. And just kind of made some like one of these, like that. If you can see it.
Oh yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, it's neat.
And just kind of did some little carvy divot thingies in there. And, to make it look like a nose, a little bit more like.
Both you guys really nail the personalities really well. I mean, you can kind of feel these characters. They just kind of jump, and they're not just like dead pieces of fruit. They're really cool. So nicely done.
You.
Thanks, Todd. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I don't have anything to show, so I didn't do one. So I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry. Listen, this would be a 7-part series to get through even a quarter of the photos of all the things you've done. So
you got stuff to show. Don't worry. We're getting there.
I'm going to be embarrassed to show anything else after we show your stuff.
Wow.
Well, but now that we've gotten through the last ones, let me introduce you to the third member of Carvers and Creators. It'll be responsible for our carving challenge tonight. It is the wheel, the Sinner Spinner, and I will show it to you right now. So there she is in all her glory.
Oh dear.
Okay, so here's the deal with the wheel. We're going to spin it twice. The first time we spin it will be the character to which we have to carve into our ephemeral carving subject. And then the second spin will be the emotion or attribute we have to apply to the first spin. So our choices tonight are Scrooge, Misfit Toy, Krampus, guest choice, Todd, so have one ready, Elf, Troll, Yeti, Ghoul, Baby, or Zombie. Second spin will be Tipsy, Smug, Jolly, guest choice once again, Robust, Sour, Sleepy, Chipper, Scared, or Surprised. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
I like chipper and sour. Oh, those are good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've been on there a while, and the wheel doesn't want to land on it. She's fickle.
Okay.
Let's see if she's in the holiday spirit, shall we? Here we go. Spin
All
her.
right. Here it is.
Don't ruin our night, please.
Is there like a bankrupt on this one too?
Oh, it's stuck. Oh, it's stuck. I wish. No whammies. No whammies. It's stuck. We got to respin.
Okay.
That's very rare.
Oh, what was the foul? Oh, you saw it in the middle right there? Okay.
It got stuck on the little peg. We don't go high quality with these.
And you know what's crazy? This is where it stopped last time, and then it landed on there. So we have a troll.
Okay.
The magnet.
Troll.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. It's that coin I glued to the back of it.
You guys already have a troll done, don't you?
Yes.
Troll is gonna be surprised.
A surprise troll.
Surprised troll.
Surprise troll.
Okay.
Right. What is this? Surprise. Oh, surprise troll. Okay.
Surprise
It's not an surprised. Okay.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. So not like the Troll 2 characters, not the John Beekler trolls, or does it up to interpretation?
That's right where the mind goes. But what we
Doesn't
usually
it? Like,
do is,
you know, we blew up one of those once at Boss Films during making a present.
it's for fun.
Apparently, I said the magic word again. Yeah. Anyway, that might not be a story for you know, virginal ears, but yeah, we blew up a troll once.
It happens, you know. In your business, shit's gonna
Yeah,
blow up.
do.
It just happens.
Yes, you do. Yeah. We had a pyrotechnic, you know, on staff, so why wouldn't we?
Right?
All right, sorry.
You got to prove your job.
You
first
got
of
it.
all.
You got it.
I start too, by the way.
Oh, hey!
Wow,
that's sexy.
Yes.
Yeah.
For my first trip to MastersFX when you were being honored.
Oh, cool. Okay, excellent. Well, that's really neat.
I was a fanboy. You know, I had to do that.
That was 1922, or no, 2022, not 19.
1922, absolutely. I was 4.
All right, so before we officially start this troll, we have to do our toast because it's bad luck to carve vegetables or fruit of any kind without some sort of a toast. So what we like to do is go around with our carving oil and see what we're up against tonight. So Maddie, why don't you start us off?
All right, what did I have? So in the whenever we go to MastersFX, Todd, we always drink 805. Like the first time we got to see you up on stage in 2022, we grabbed a 12-pack of this. I think it was my first time, maybe Paul's, but this became our travel beer. And then I think we finished quite a bit and ended up having to get more. So, but anyway, every time I think of it, I'm like, oh, MastersFX beer. But I know there's probably other people that drink it outside of MastersFX. So there's mine.
Love it. Okay, that's cool. Cheers. I've got octopus mug from the Seattle Aquarium. And
okay, we'll just assume it's full of gin, right? I mean, just gotta be, right?
I'm not really much of a drinker. I might smoke a joint. I don't know, but you know, right now it's an octopus mug full of coffee.
Love it. Okay, Paul, how about you? What do you got tonight?
All right, so I have a fruited sour with cherry, blueberry, and raspberry, 6.5% alcohol from Brewery Ommegang, OMME Gang.
That would probably kill me.
That's a word salad and a cool.
It is a word salad, and I'll tell you what.
Look at that crazy salad can. It's got emojis.
Look at that. Oh yeah. It makes kids want to drink it.
Yeah.
Let's all go down to the liquor store.
This one's for the kids.
It actually came with a shot of insulin. That's how much sugar is actually. It's up. It's delicious. Well, that's
cheers, guys.
Yeah, well, there you go. Cheers.
Cheers, Todd. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. And I'll have to get to that level, I guess.
And now we get to talk about Todd stuff.
Oh yeah, there's so much to get to. It is ridiculous, and we've got a number of pictures. We chatted yesterday prior to the show about these guys, and obviously these guys have an origin story, and we'd love to kind of hear about it. I love some of the pictures. Yeah, I love some.
I haven't changed. See, I haven't changed at all. All right.
Yeah, your hair is a little different color. Other than that,
just a slightly different cut. Yeah, I decided cutting it, all the way back.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I shaved my head for the show tonight. Yeah, make it look like.
Yeah. I didn't want any of that shadow or anything. Yeah, how funny. Okay, so yeah, this is me at 20. Do you want me to tell you a little story of all this shit?
Oh, I'd love to hear about them. Yeah, this.
Okay,
yeah,
so this is from my Time Magazine piece. I was in Time Magazine as kind of like, this crazy kid came up with this crazy toy and they sold a lot. And so this was 1987. I think the feature story in this Time Magazine was like on the USSR. I mean, it's a totally different world. And I was this kind of crazy kid that had a makeup effects company in Hollywood. And I sculpted the original ones. Actually, I did sculpt on pumpkins, but I put like clay on them. I didn't sculpt out of pumpkins. I went out and found interesting pumpkins, chopped off a bunch of the front and threw clay on them. And I created I think I did like 3 of them at the very beginning. And I sent them off to who I perceived would be my clients, my future wannabe clients, like just Universal Studios and Paramount Studios. I didn't even like send it to any individual. I just sent it off to the mailroom, I guess. And they were like little prototype versions of what you see here. And they're like latex and polyfoam. And I sent off 30 of them, expecting the phone to ring off the hook. You got to do Jaws 5 or whatever. And I was 19, and I had this new company that I kind of thought I knew how to drive. And I had already done some stuff in Hollywood. I worked on Big Trouble in Little China and Poltergeist 2 and Night of the Creeps. And so I had some stuff, and I had a little facility. And so instead of getting 30 jobs, I got 29 phone calls from people saying, "Hey, this is really cool. Where can I get another?" And I went, "What do you mean? There are no others. That's what you get. But to give me a job." And so it kind of just refocused me a little bit. If that many people want it, maybe I do have something here. And so I took it to a buddy of mine named Ray Carr. Ray knew some other friends who were doing stuff in the gift industry. They introduced me to some other people. Suddenly we were out showing it in the giftware business. That's part of my crew, actually, trying to do some of the faces. And they ended up selling like millions in the late 80s. And there's me at 12 on the right. The one on the left, that was a big one that we had done. We did 2 big grandparent versions for charity, so that was one of the big ones. And that actually was a big pumpkin that I also sculpted in wet clay on front of it. Oh my gosh! This is not me sculpting. This is me posing.
Have you ever gone on to eBay and seen what a hot item those are?
Oh, they're crazy. It's nuts. And they're all, the Gene Simmons tribute. Gene was a big influence on my weird art. And so we just did this for fun one year. And then the Canadian team made the upside down maple leaf there on the right. These are just kind of fun and around the studio in Vancouver. How funny you guys finding all this. Oh, and there you go. To show that these kind of they are family. I mean, that's my parents behind the 2 in the front. But you can kind of see the influence on that's Jesse, Uncle Jesse on the right. The one on the left is an early Trumpkin, believe it or not.
Yeah, I was going to say that has a Trump face to it.
Yeah, it's an early Trumpkin version, yeah. And then, my parents, that's all natural. That's all natural pumpkin. Yeah.
I just can't believe how young you were when you started. Like, there you go. There's another celebrity.
Yeah, that's Dick Smith. That's Dick Smith on the right with Jack. Yeah. So Dick obviously was a huge influence on me, and so it was exciting that to be able to give him one of these pieces, which he loved, and displays here proudly. Dick was really cool. Really fun guy.
Tell us about working with him, because I think we touched on it briefly before the show, but like I'm fascinated by the people that you've gotten to know, and but tell us about him, because he's just one of those legends that you hear about, and not a lot of people got to actually do the work you did with him.
Yeah, well, I never worked with Dick. I knew him personally. As kids, we were just talking earlier about another guest you had, Gino Acevedo. And so many of us from kind of that so-called class, that era of young guys turning into monster maker people, J.J. Abrams, so many of us across the U.S. and really kind of across the globe. This is before internet and magazines were barely happening, but many of us picked up phone books and called some of our heroes. Apparently Dick Smith was kind of a beacon. We used to always call him or visit him or whatever. We would send him photos of the work that we were doing as youngsters, before Hollywood, trying to figure out this art form. And he would critique him. He would actually kind of yell at us, which was kind of cute. We would talk to him on the phone. Hey, did you get my photos? Yeah. What the fuck was this shit? He would be a little aggressive, and that was just kind of. He wasn't that bad, but he didn't like pull punches. He was a real stern taskmaster, and he wanted the work to be better. He would tell you. And then later years, I knew him kind of more personally. He was much older, like around this era that you see here. And we used to take him out to like sushi restaurants and drink lots of sake with him. And he actually didn't really retain a lot of his career memories, which I thought was interesting. We had a big event for him at the Academy for the Governor Awards. We gave him a honorary Oscar for all his great work that he did, and J.J. Abrams actually got up and did the keynote and showed like all these pieces from Little Big Man and The Exorcist and like all this body of amazing work. And Dick just kind of like looked at it, just saucer-eyed, and just like, wow, that guy was really amazing. Didn't know it was him. It was kind of like, well, Dick, that was you, dude. You did all that.
Oh man.
Yeah, so kind of a different era, and our buddy has left a really solid mark on so many artists. And
he created a whole generation of monster makers,
pretty much.
Right?
He really did. Yeah, no, there's not many that have left the imprint like Dick Smith. For the longest time, we were trying to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which he probably would have hated because it's so disgusting now. But it was difficult to get the Chamber of Commerce to really understand, that this was a real pioneer in film. And we did 4 applications, I think, and just couldn't get it past Congress. And so yeah, Dick is a memory that we're still working on, trying to figure out how to best commemorate him.
He'll get, I think, with the creative minds behind in Hollywood that knew him and loved him, there's got to be a movie in the works or some really cool thing happening.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
We'll take Abrams. Just go ahead and jump on that.
Yeah. Hey, JJ, if you don't mind, you just got a new deal, so there was a good one.
Sign us up.
JJ's got some great stories about that.
Oh, I can only imagine. You talked about little Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
And some of these look extremely fun to do. So you're young.
Look like pumpkins.
Yeah, I see a pumpkin in this thing immediately,
Oh, isn't this funny? Yeah, that's me right in the foreground. Puffing with my mullet. Yeah, and isn't it hilarious? This is the puppet head. I was a peon on Big Trouble in Little China. I was probably 18 or 19, working for Boss Films, working under Steve Johnson, and so all of this is really the Boss Films work. I was blowing in bladders, and I was seaming and punching hair and painting and trying to stay out of trouble. But yeah, I watched all this stuff being made, and it was like the greatest film school ever to see it just right there. Yeah. Great
So
work
when
here,
you're 18 years old, working on this kind of stuff. Now, when you were like, let's call you like 10, 15, 16, did you know you wanted to do this? And were you kind of one track minded? You were like, this is what I'm going to do, period, like from a really early age?
Pretty much, I was really excited by like Ray Harryhausen movies and, the Godzillas and the Frankensteins. There was a really great channel. I grew up before there was like, 10,000 channels. There was like 12. Right. And then we had a thing called Sci-Fi Weekend or whatever it was. Yeah, there I am, probably about that age. And they would always play like Harryhausen movies. Yeah. So this is like my little Harryhausen monster. He's got a little treasure trail. He's got a set of balls. It was very accurate. Yeah, I made his teeth out of little kernels of rice. His eyeballs are, I think, marbles. Wow. Yeah, it's a really bad foam run. You can see I've got like a Casio watch going on there.
It looks like a calculator watch too, maybe.
But again,
yeah, well, got to be accurate, right?
This is when you couldn't just go on a website and order material either, right? You were trying to order it out of the back of a magazine or something, right?
Yeah, and figure out how to do it. Yeah, this was R&D foam latex that you got out of Commerce, California. You had to ship it in. I was in Seattle. I made molds in my mom's some of her weird pots, just like guessing. There was really no real way to figure this out. There was like Lee Bagan had his book out. Savini's book hadn't come out yet. So there was like, one thing out there about stage makeup. And I would call people. I would call Craig Reardon or Dick Smith or Tom Berman or, and I'd just say, how do I blah, 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 blah. And, a lot of it was just trial and error. Harryhausen I used to call as a kid too.
And they would answer.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, Harryhausen. I didn't know what time it was, in London. I didn't, I was a kid. And I was probably like 12 when I still somewhere have a Clash of the Titans thank you letter from him.
Oh my gosh.
But I called him like just whatever time. So I'm sure it must have been like 4 a.m. there. So he probably hated me.
I can imagine what it cost to call London.
Yeah, probably. I did actually know a little bit about Europe because I had traveled there with my family, and I used to do person-to-person calls or reverse the charges. I used to do shit like that. So I didn't pay for it. I don't know who.
Somebody paid for it. Exactly.
Yeah. You kind of had to know, and I had a really deep voice, so I got away with a lot. So.
You gamed the system. All right, that's even better. I think one of the things that like Paul and I, a lot of times we're talking to folks and I'm not young. I know Paul's younger than I am, but I love hearing the stories about like kind of the original OG. I remember Saturday mornings I grew up in Phoenix, but there was this there was a kind of a I think what they call it adventure theater. And it was like everything from Godzilla to monster movies, black and white. But I've ever seen that's all you could watch. Like there's 4 channels, whatever. Yeah. You're just sitting there staring at it and being like, all right. And you totally get into it that way. Mummies,
awesome. It had formed our design language, it created our design language. Like, we were talking just offline about the pumpkins. It's kind of a riff on that Walt Disney character, the Walt Disney special, Halloween special. Jonathan Winters is a big pumpkin that I think who was the makeup artist on that? But it was kind of something floating around in the the visual imagery lexicon. And I was also really influenced by like Ghostbusters, particularly the Onion Head character had like great loose kind of goofy folds, which is so much fun to sculpt, as you guys know.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
And so I really kind of wanted, and that was my buddy Steve Johnson, so I wanted to kind of throw that in there. Excuse me, this is my drink. So what are you guys doing there? This is cool. I love your trolls to be.
Yeah. I can't get my camera to focus, so let's talk about Paul's first. Go ahead.
Wow, there's nothing to talk about yet. I think I'm going to have to glue a nose on to really make it happen.
You could do that? You're allowed to do that?
Yeah. Oh, well, we wrote the rules, so we kind of changed it.
And Todd, we have this stuff here.
Pumpkin glue.
Not
super glue works. Unbelievable.
Okay.
It works.
All right. Wow. Okay.
Worse than gluing your hands to the pumpkin too.
I'm less scared to try this medium now because I always think you're doing like a Michelangelo and you're carving the Carrera marble, and
shit. A little bit. Yeah, when you put super glue on marble, you can see it. Not on pumpkin.
Okay.
That is key. It is key to hide.
That's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and our buddy Joey says it's rigged. Yeah, the whole thing's rigged.
No.
I know.
Totally. This is all fake. This is all an illusion.
This is all
exactly. Yep, we're in a simulation.
So you catapulted into this little movie.
Oh my god, that's hilarious! I love this photo.
That is, I mean, that's the very beginning of it before they even switched out the monster, right? That was
isn't that great?
Awesome.
Just the expressions on their faces, So I don't know if you or your audience knows the story of Hunter or Predator. But Jean-Claude Van Damme was the original monster. It was originally called Hunter. And
Hunter. Okay.
Yeah. And it was set up at 20th Century Fox, Joel Silver production. It came to Boss Films. Boss Films was like this kind of industrial light and magic kind of company down in Marina del Rey. And so they mainly visual effects and miniatures, but at that point they had a creature shop. And they actually came to Boss Films, not for the visual effects, because that went to R. Greenberg, but for the creature shit. Because at that time, the creature shop was kind of hot with Fright Night and a couple of Ghostbusters, and a couple of them had really kind of cleared the charts. So Predator came along, or Hunter came along, and the studio, Fox, says, here's the monster we want you guys to make. And they gave us a drawing that is illustrated by the name of Nikita Katz did. And it was kind of funny because it wasn't our sensibilities at all. I was again a peon at Boss at this point. We had just finished Big Trouble in Little China and Poltergeist 2 and a couple others, and we were just coming into this thing. And so it wasn't our sensibility at all. Our process was, we design, we create, we come up, with our ideas. So here's Fox coming at us with this sketch, and it turned into this kind of ridiculous monster that then got replaced infamously, look it up online, by the Stan Winston group, and really obviously the iconic Dreadlock character. Yeah. Meanwhile, there was all sorts of other shit going on, like we just saw the severed arm, and then here's Jesse Ventura. Yeah, there we go. The Carl Weathers arm, which was made out of gelatin, if you can believe it.
Wow, that is really good.
Solid gelatin. There's this great slow motion shot on the ground going, and it looks just like the most amazing animatronic ever. It's just solid gelatin. it's just wiggling to the firing of the gun, and it looks great. But yeah, here's this is Jesse, the body, even though we nicknamed him Jesse the Belly after the life cast session. This is my 19-year-old mindset. He had this bit famously in the movie where his chest rips open and a gigantic weapon flies out of it. And I don't know if they told me they didn't want to do it with pyro or I just did it this way, but I came up with this spring-loaded rib cage that rammed open on this kind of pull trigger, and on the inside you could barely see that black ring held a collapsible weapon, and it's totally in the movie. It's kind of one of the weirdest gags. I mean, it's all covered by a big MTV shirt that we pre-rigged, but it's the most ridiculous rig design ever. So if you guys are out there, don't do it this way. This is silly. But anyway, yeah.
No, cool. And you're 19. This was down in Puerto Vallarta, right? I think that's what.
This shot down in Puerto Vallarta. Yeah, it was, and it shot twice. I mean, they went down and they set it up with the Jean-Claude thing, and then when that became a debacle, they shot everything they could without the monster, including this and the Carl Weathers arm, and then they shut it down. And then they went to Stan Winston, and Stan came up with this iconic thing with Steve Wang, of all people. Steve was one of the lead artists on it.
They needed that extra Yeah, it sounds like the star power finally, and then look at where they went after that. I mean, like, this was a precursor for a lot of those folks, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, it was a whole beginning to a new type of monster making.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Speaking of monster making, tell us about these buddies.
This one?
Yeah, this one. We got a couple here for you from the same.
Oh God! Look at us! Isn't that funny? That's this is the return of the swamp thing. So this is me starting my own company. You can see Eddie Yang down there on the TV. There's Aaron Sims on the upper right holding the Hippo Man. Andy Schoenberg was on this crew. That's Jim McLaughlin on the red shirt right behind his crocodile thing. So I mean, this is a very young crew that just went on to just like kick ass in so many ways. Eddie was in Japan, so we videotaped him and put him on the monitor. But yeah, the Return of the Swamp Thing was it was like our first gig, really. This was I had left working with Steve. So Steve Johnson and I did a bunch of stuff together, and then we kind of split up during Dead Heat, and I went off and opened up my own. Well, we actually already had this shop. He went off and opened up his own shop. And so my buddy Steve Neal, another guy, he had this show, Return of the Swamp Thing, with Jim Wynorski, and he was kind of swamped at the time, and he had time to do part of it, but not all of it. And there was this whole crazy lab experiments gone wrong sequence that I'm sure they probably had $5 for, but I accepted it just because I wanted the shop to do stuff. And so I had one meeting with Wynorski, and it was basically do whatever you want, don't bug me. It was kind of like he just kind of didn't really care what we did, which was the greatest thing you can ever hear as an artist.
Oh my God, yeah.
And so he wanted an Elephant Man, so there's my Elephant Man. A little literal, but that's kind of what I did. There was a crocodile man or alligator person or whatever, so that's what we did. There was a couple others. There was a cockroach person that Eddie did. There was a fish puppet. Here you can kind of see pieces of all of them.
The cockroach guy.
The Hippo Man. Yeah. A bunch of random arms. But this is probably 1986 here.
How fun. Oh my God, how cool is that?
And we generally worked without our shirts, so this is a rare photo. It was so hot in our studio. We didn't have air conditioning or anything, so
so cool.
Them days.
What a cool memory. Like in anything you work on at the
You're
time,
killing me.
You don't know that these are going to be iconic films, are going to be people be talking about them this many years later. It's just another job.
Are we talking about Return of the Swamp Thing? Is that an iconic film?
No. That's
okay.
The makeup in that is iconic.
Maybe I'm not triggering the right algorithm or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we dig how much fun you had doing it, and when you guys look so young and look like you're just having a blast, and you're so damn like. This is the beginning, the origin story of everything else you've done, which is pretty fun.
Well, that's sort of kind of what inspires me. What you guys are doing. I mean, you're just keeping it loose. You're just coming up with art. You're not worried about budgets. You're not worried about schedules. That's kind of neat. Somebody just chimed in about the John Hurt Elephant Man. That was not the John Hurt Elephant Man, obviously. You know that.
A little different.
Yeah, but it's so funny because that was totally on my mind when I did it.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, it's such a great makeup. You guys, I was saying yesterday, it's just like kind of cool that you guys do this and you're so creative with it. It's just really, whatever art comes out, which is kind of the early stuff of my career,
Oh, that's awesome. I love what you mentioned about not being throttled by somebody else's design and saying, hey, just go make something cool.
Yeah.
That's anytime I'm ever allowed to do that, like on a pumpkin carving gig or something else, I get so happy. I'm like, you're gonna get so much better stuff if you just let me roll, and then versus like trying to get me to do something precise.
On a schedule.
Because I want a pumpkin, for God's sake. That's probably
right. Yeah. No, I know it's an interesting like crossover area because I do think art does kind of need to be obviously to make commercial stuff, you have to be able to nail a deadline and you have to do it for a budget. But if you can it's almost like sailing. If you've ever sailed, there's kind of this perfect place where the wind just starts working and you go the way you think you're going to go. But if you're off that line, you're fucked. And, you know, so it's like art is kind of that. If you can sort of find the perfect triangle, you know, the balance.
Great analogy. Yeah, I like that.
Well, go sailing. Like a small boat, and you'll try. Hey, Johnny. So this one here, this is one of my Tales from the Crypt. I used to do Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, I love that show.
Everything was done in like 3 days, and this is Clancy Brown, who Clancy is just one of the greatest people ever. The part on the right is Clancy. Part on the left was something I scraped off the floor.
Cafeteria at school. Yeah.
I made that out of pumpkin.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. Has that look.
Yeah. Clancy, I love Clancy. This is so funny. You guys are surprising me with what is. I have no idea what it is.
We're gonna keep throwing them up here. I think we have 60 pictures.
It's like an acid flashback, you know. It's like,
keep rolling through. Yeah, if you go into DTs, let me know. You know, if you get.
No, I love it. This is Demon Knight. So Demon Knight actually is going to be 30 years old on January 13th, 2025. So we're coming up to a big anniversary for this one. So this, boy, I got way too many stories, so I don't know if I'm going to kill your hour or whatever, but Demon Knight.
Tell us. We want to hear it.
Well, I'll do the fast thing. I mean, I love how these designs turned out. A lot of people really love how this turned out. And they are kind of like become kind of classic, crazy looks. This is the Walt Demon, named after Walt Phelan. Walt was one of our assistants at the studio, 30 years ago. And we were just freaking kids. Oh, I got my Crypt Keeper animatronic from Spirit Halloween. Oh, that's so cool.
Everyone loves that damn show. Anyway.
It was so fun to make. Well, so the first script we got from the producers on Demon Knight was just wall-to-wall demons, and I designed them as suits, and I did the budget, and I went in and go, hey guys, great script, loved everything about it, here's your budget. And they just kind of cold-faced looked at me and sent me out the door, kicked me in the pants. Get out of here, kid. And so I didn't hear from him for a little bit, and then I got a call saying, hey, you got to pick up the new updated script. And I'm like, oh, okay. And this is back before we would get them emailed. We actually had to get a physical copy. So I went and grabbed it and I read it. And the new script had no demons in it. They'd cut them all out. And they were now like these kind of Men in Black, people in shades, and they had like fire in their eyes, and then they put their shades back on. And it was like, what the fuck? And we had already done many seasons.
Demon Night. You just call it Night.
Yeah, right. Exactly. IRS Night. And I had done a couple seasons with these producers. This is Gil Adler and Alan Katz, and still good buddies of mine. And I guess I had some nards back then, and I went to them and I said, hey guys, we can't do a Tales from the Crypt movie called Demon Knight with 0 demons in it. We just can't. Is it because of the budget? Is it, what? And they all kind of went, really kind of was. And you kind of blew us out of the water in our first feature, right? They wanted TV budget. So I went back and I re-engineered how to do the demons, and I kind of looked at Walt and another guy there named Josh Patton and some other people, and everybody was not eating because we were so poor. And they were so scrawny that I took photographs of them with their underwear on and nothing else. And I built the demons around their bodies because they were already pretty thin. And we enhanced, their thinness by their pelvic bones stick out, their ribs stick out. They had these long, spindly hands, of course, their heads. And this was actually done right before Photoshop. This was done on opal paint, I think. So it was kind of like our first CG design way back when. And we were able to kind of, since there was only so many days that the demons played, we sold the producers on doing these as like extended makeup, so to speak. So it's it's a big head. You can see that if you look carefully, I'm going to ruin it for everybody. There's holes in the brow where they look out. The eyes here are just
I see it. Okay.
Yeah, fuck, I ruined it for you. And they, they had these like They have these like prosthetic cod pieces that had a Makita battery shoved up their nards, so that could run their tail. And then since we had already kind of developed the leg extension thing on the Howling 5, so we were already doing leg extensions. We were like the first studio to do them. We were able to kind of come up with like the scaled down foot extension for these things. And, we just kind of crazy kids just made these big like makeup, bam, we're going to pound you out during the day. And that became our cool demons.
So awesome. I love that story. I love the fact that your budget would change the whole thing. I mean, that's even more creepy to me. It's like that they were so enthralled with doing something big. Anyway.
Those were, it was different movie making then. Gil and Alan were really great producers. Oh shit, there's me with hair to prove that I actually did have hair.
They got your leaning forward picture. Like I had those.
Yeah. It's look at my cleavage picture.
Eyes up here.
Yeah, right, exactly. Up here where my hair is. This is Chris Sarandon, of course, from Fright Night and Princess Bride, and really great guy. This is on the set of The Resurrected, and Chris is wearing a fiber optic piece. Those are fiber optics I have in my hand that I would plug into this big light stock. This is how we did it. So at the end of the Resurrected, his face glows up with all these lighted veins, and then we rotoscoped on top of that to make motion picture history. And
OG, and that's like where it all started.
Kind of, yeah. That's another gelatin piece. We used to do a lot of gelatin stuff because we didn't have silicone yet, and it's very fragile and shit. Okay, there's Dead Heat. That's our suckling pig. I'm actually giving the peace sign there, but I think there was some white out on my finger. Maybe tape. But that's the animatronic suckling pig that attacks Joe Piscopo in Dead Heat, and that's my crew. It's a pretty damaged photo. Bob Marino on the left has got something on his nose. He looks like he's from The Wiz.
It's all metal.
Yeah, that's Tony Ruperek and Michiko in there, and then me showing off my muscles on the right. Looks like I have a swatch. I'm wearing a swatch now.
It looks, you've aged up from the cast.
I like the watch guy. Yeah, you must have been making some money.
You're going to Swiss from that point. And that might be
there's a swatch. There's a swatch. Look at that one.
Get see-through ones. Those are hard to
find. That was like $40. So this is Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, I think it was. And that's Erica Anderson on the left, who plays this character her name was Greta. And her nightmare is that she ate too much and her cheeks exploded like chipmunks. And the reason I got this job was that the producers saw my pumpkins and they're like, oh, well, we kind of think that the Greta character should look like a pumpkin.
Really? Full circle. Yeah. Full circle. We're back to pumpkins.
Isn't that funny?
It's all about the pumpkin.
The old lanterns inspired that. Boy, you guys are hitting them all. More good hair shots. This is John Tagawa on the right with no hair. I burn it all off for a movie called Hiroshima. We did like 500 of these burn makeups for this TV movie for NBC. Yeah, it was crazy. And we got our first Emmy nomination for it, in fact.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we lost.
I was looking at your IMDb. Speaking of nominations, what do you have? Like 19 different awards you've gotten, or 18? I lost count.
I lost count. I don't know who does the IMDb. I think it's like elves somewhere because it's not. It's just, nobody from our place does it. We have no knowledge of this. So cool. Oh, Paul! I love Paul. He's so great. Oh, really? So this is Buffy, the feature. Which I designed a bunch of these makeups. Paul and I got stoned together going to see his contact lens person. That was pretty funny. Right before
red eye.
I don't think I can get him in trouble now. But Paul Paul was freaking amazing. I love Paul. He was such a cool dude. We kind of, a lot of people that knew him and know this whole thing, but he would send out this time of year the greatest Christmas cards. And I'm sure I have them somewhere. But we all miss Paul very much. And he was really hilarious in this character.
Yeah, one of the things that, I don't know if we've got other ones of him, but we got a few pictures here that are just mind-boggling to me.
These here?
Yeah, I immediately look, I'm like, how is she so little? How is she so little? It just, like the depth perception. And then I look at this one, I'm like, wait, they carved her twice. They got her smiling and sorry, I went back.
Well, that's actually Alice. I mean, that's Alice in there. I mean, she's
got her
this is a slant board rig. So yeah, she is amazing. Thank you, Johnny. Alice is like one of the coolest people. So this is from Star Trek First Contact. This kind of got me in a lot of trouble, but it ended up being kind of like this, legendary visual effects moment. What had happened is when we make movies and TV, especially TV, there's kind of this impossible deadline and everything. And we got hired to kind of be the Borg effects people. So we worked between costumes and the Mike Westmore team, working on the intricate suits and their weird mechanical arms and kind of, populating the Borg world. So it's kind of like Mike Westmore's people did this. And then occasionally they did a hand, or, they certainly did like all the main cast characters like Data and stuff and all that.
Right.
But when it came like below here, it was kind of this weird, like no man's land. Deborah Everton, the costume designer, came to us because we sort of had played this role before on the television shows. And they wanted us to kind of create the Borg suits, and then it sort of kept going from there because deadlines. And when it came to this part of the Queen's head and neck coming out of the rafters, coming down and plugging into her body, her suit.
Yeah.
That was kind of like, because I came from a visual effects. I used to do optical effects as a kid. So I already kind of knew how to design shots, and I knew, I was already doing my own visual effects through the Amiga 1000. So this one came about, and I looked at it like a big slant board rig. I looked at it like if you remember Friday the 13th, the original one, Kevin Bacon, the thing coming through his neck.
Oh,
yeah. So I kind of thought, well, it's kind of like that, but instead of like a bed, it's just blue screen and it's fucking ILM. They can handle it. And so, I went to this meeting that ILM was not in, and I said, hey, and I even had a maquette that Jeremy Aiello had done showing the head and how we'd fuse in the slant board and all that, just because we needed visual aids. Right. And everybody was there except for ILM. I don't know, for whatever reason, we weren't in this meeting, and they all like looked at me like, really? This is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I think we can pull it off. And so they got me far enough to do a test. So I was able to do a test. And there's great photos of Alice, like literally just finished shooting, her bald cap barely on. And we've got this neck piece that's painted her flesh color. We didn't paint it Borg color. And she's just against the blue screen, and her blue suit blends perfectly. And you can kind of sort of see how the trick's going to work. And they all kind of went, oh, we could actually make this work. And so like in a couple days we shot it. John Knoll, who's like one of those brilliant people in the world, fortunately he was the visual effects supervisor on this. Fortunately he didn't yell at me too much about this, like, hey, we should do it this way, like kind of throwing him. And he and his team put together this comp that's just like the coolest. Approved. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, absolutely. High five.
Anyway, so that's a very wordy around, but that's kind of what happened with the Star Trek Contact.
So cool. Well, I mean, just an iconic character.
Yeah. Jonathan. That's Jonathan on the right. Jonathan's like one of the coolest people. Jonathan Briggs. He was the director for that one.
Oh my gosh, so cool.
Oh, and this is me on Insurrection. So I kind of somehow got onto Insurrection, which was like the next one. And I didn't do these prosthetics. I was literally just the set monkey for Westmore this day. Me and my big pager. Look at my huge pager. And that's
belt there too.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
And then that's F. Murray Abrams, you know, from Amadeus fame.
Oh my God, right there. You're right. I can see the face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you do a pretty nasty surgery on him, and it looks like they're holding the scalpel, you know, like
yeah. I don't think I did that makeup. I did another makeup for Westmore, and I was just there, and one of the makeup artists came to me and goes, I don't know how to work with F. Murray. Like, was kind of intimidated by F. Murray because he's kind of an intimidating dude.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to KY him, so I said, I'll KY him for you. So this is me KY and F. Murray.
Sounds like a whole different movie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all right. There's MacGyver. MacGyver in a different world. He's this is Stargate SG-1 with an ass. That's Alex Zahara under all that rubber.
Wow, your memory is insane, dude. I don't know.
Well, Alex is a good buddy of mine. I just killed him recently on a show, which I don't know if I'd ever killed him. I've covered him in rubber many mornings. But for the upcoming Final Destination 6, probably not supposed to say, but an ass without his makeup appears, and we do a really nice kill.
Don't tell anybody, viewers, whoever's watching.
I didn't say anything. Okay, so that's Jason Momoa on the right, believe it or not. Also for this now Stargate Atlantis, I think this is the next progression.
Oh wow!
And so that's Jeff Redknapp on the left, wearing a makeup we probably did in 2 days, you know, because that's just how these TV shit goes. Jeff was the right size, and he was a little narrower in areas, so we could really kind of take advantage and like gaunt him in.
Yeah, get some in neck. Yeah.
It looks pretty crazy in this photo. I don't think it had its touch-ups.
Well, it does. It does look like it's him, like almost split screen, like old and young to me.
That was the idea. Yes, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Now, Fangoria, before this was the way I would consume monster stuff. When I would go to the supermarket and I'd go through and I'd find it, and then I'd go do all the stuff, and you get in the back of the thing and you can find out where to order stuff, and that was like where you write down people's names, and you'd see like makeup by, or special effects by, or like, and then that's how I would know, like, the Dick Smiths of the world and like those kind of folks even way back then.
One of the few one of the few that actually does that, and thank you, Fangoria. That's kind of cool. It's how I did it too. I mean, I grew up on Fangoria as well, and I found names in there and called them up. So
now I can't even get people to return a text message or an email. I can imagine people picking up it's because there was no caller ID back then.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you're probably on some algorithm now that's being controlled by you.
Oh God,
yeah, but Ray Harryhausen walks to his mailbox, and he's going to do that every day anyway. He might as well open the mail from Todd, and see what he's got.
I don't think he's doing that anymore. But yeah.
No, I'm not.
Here's our buddy Michael Rooker. We love Michael.
Oh my God.
I think I can't remember if he loves us now or hates us now. We go back and forth. Partially because of Slither. We put him in a lot of shit on Slither, and he kind of hates us. All right, this is Snakes on a Plane.
Snakes on a motherfucking plane.
Yeah, don't mess with snakes, kids. That's what's going to happen to you.
Don't put them on a plane, people.
Yeah. It's kind of sad.
So cool.
It's great makeup.
I think the hair person sleeping in the background.
I love that you can see the stuff in the background and just completely pick it apart.
I looked at these photos for a while, so it's cool to kind of get them surprised. Like I don't know what you're shuffling.
You don't know what's coming. That's part of it here.
Yeah. Oh, geez. That's Alex on the left. During COVID, as you can probably tell, Danger Noodles freak me out. You know it. So this character is called a shit. What do we call these things? Another is kind of like an Uno. It's another one of these names. This is from DC Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh my god.
Which is actually now yesterday because it's no longer on the air. So it's no longer tomorrow. It was several weeks ago, several months, years ago.
You got to change the name.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So that's a great character that we did. Animatronic mask, and it looks like we're just fitting the inside mouth in this shot, doing like a final.
So cool.
Fun. Oh shit!
Speaking of inside mouth, yeah.
Yeah, right. Totally. So that's a member of Guar. You guys familiar with Guar? I hope.
Odorous Yeah.
So Guar came by our monster museum like a year ago, I think it was. Year and change because we just finished it. We have a monster museum that's essentially our showroom in our big Vancouver studio.
We have a little slide for that. We'll be able to show people.
Oh, do we? Okay.
Just at least the ad for it. Yeah, that's coming.
If you're a member of our private club, which we can't talk about on that, we could show you it. But otherwise, it's open to the public in October of every year. So we just finished it. And so I think this is from the year before when Guar just was in Vancouver setting up for a show. So look, he's got a Motorola ready. He's like, we've done the sound check. Get the fuck back here. Right. He's over. So we're hanging out with a little piece from Hemlock Grove. Yes.
That's one of my favorite effects of all time, by the way.
Looks pretty cool, right? Yeah, we designed that whole sequence out of some like early tests we did. I don't know if you've seen the early tests, but those are really cool.
I still don't. I like the actual. You have the beautiful video of it actually ripping through the mouth, and that's not a real person. That's just
we tried. Yeah,
You don't need a real person if you get it to look that good. It looks so
well.
Good.
It is. It's kind of like it's a comp. So we mimicked his face out of the same color, same flexibility as flesh. We even punched in his beard, and we rammed a fucking werewolf through it.
It's so awesome.
And we comped that on to Landon. Thank you very much. That was quite a.
I stop and watch it all the time.
Here is the.
For those who want to go check it out when you're in Burnaby.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. Yeah. So this come next year. We're kind of closed right now, unless you're in the secret club. If you need to reach out and ask how to get in the secret club, please do. But we try to do as many monster events as possible. It's just we're always busy, and I just go back from Europe, and so it's like
Well, we got a few more things. I mean, I hate to say this because we're like already getting close to the end, but I have so many things I want to still get to, like this beautiful piece here.
That's my ex-girlfriend. No, I'm kidding. So this is one of the crazy monsters from Under Construction, kids. This is not how it turned out. You can see the holes where his teeth will go.
The teeth are gonna
go. This was Smiley's autopsy, I think, from season 2. I don't know. It all From is a totally trippy thing, so it all blends. So these crazy fucking characters we did.
Friend, you did a
Fringe from The Boys, The Boy, Picture of Little China, Showdown Little Tokyo. It's just like, what? Come on. Stargate, Star Trek, Star Wars, Super. Here, this is from Super. So that's Rain. This is another cool, really. If you haven't seen this one, it's a good practical digital mix we did.
So I love that you tore the head off of Dwight.
Yeah, Dwight. Put him in the mustard colored shirt and then do it.
This is a good movie too. Actually, I think this is one of James's best movie.
Oh, really? I have to check it out.
I really like it. It's very personal to him, and it just works for me. I mean, I got to say, I wasn't too excited about the Superman trailer, but I'm not super into superheroes. So.
Yeah.
The one that just came out, you talking about?
Yeah, it's just like an hour or so. It was like, okay, superhero, yay.
Again.
Superman again. I mean, haven't we done it like 4 times now since?
Yeah.
Anyway, nah, that's a good shot.
I love
So
that
that's
one.
Sarah Pickersgill on the right. And on the left is the devil with the yellow eyes. And so that was this crazy character that Sarah supervised. And I always love this photo. She's just so awesome in getting into this. And
I feel like
a while ago. What's that? She
like
did my hairstyle. I see that she did my hairstyle. Thanks, Sarah. So.
Yeah, I feel that's the double chin I have half the time. Like,
oh, totally. Yeah. No, I know.
I guess that's a single chin, but it's quite. There's no double there.
Yeah.
But these guys were part of From.
No. This was Airbnb.
This is new. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, this is the original Predator design.
Yeah.
No wonder Stan Winston stepped in.
Yeah, that's why he kicked our ass, right? No, this was from an Airbnb commercial that won a bunch of awards. It had these kind of interesting characters. There we go with another member from GWAR. This is awesome. You guys have these shots. So that's also in the Monster Museum with, anyway. These GWAR guys are hilarious.
About the people from GWAR. Okay, obviously a Rush fan. We love Rush.
Yeah, well, and that's also my IQ. No, I don't know. I love the 2112 album. I always thought that was so storytelling and
the whole thing. You got to play it start to finish. You can't skip song. You have to go from the minute you put the record down till it ends. Otherwise, it skips. Yeah, exactly.
It has to be on LP. You got to listen to Patch to Bangkok properly.
Right.
Yeah. It's a great album. Oh, these are cute. Okay. This is
the making of. Yeah.
God, you guys broke into my computer or something. So this was kind of how we built those characters.
Amazing. It's just such an amazing, you look at this and then you go to here.
Yeah.
Then you can kind of get a sense for where everything is. It's kind of fun to, from a layman's to see it.
Right. We do that to just kind of communicate with client. We had an amazing team on this. I think we pumped it out in less than 3 weeks.
Wow.
And there's always just shit has to happen on both parallel tracks and, actors and build and funkin' or fucking, sorry. I thought it was funkin'. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Hilarious. But yeah, that's me actually combing them, I'm sure. But no,
that's a great picture too. I'm glad you take the time to take some great pictures with your work.
Well, I gotta give credit where it's due. This is Greg. Please check his work out on Instagram. I think it's 2G's Siegel. And he came by. He was actually forcing me to do this because I was so busy. And he kept reminding me, this is another Greg shot. He kept reminding me, hey, I'd really like to do this photo thing for you. And he came by, and it was just I had so much time. He just banged it out and did a really beautiful job. And he even photographed some of our garbage and made it look good. He's so talented. But no, this is Greg, and he actually is hilarious. He did this photo essay for ARP magazine, of all things, the old people magazine.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, I was like, dude, I used to be in Fangoria. Now I'm in ARP. Are you kidding me?
I used to be cool, damn it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I used to be a punk rocker. I had hair. So anyway, that's my rent-a-head on the right. I have a couple heads actually that I rent out if you want to kill somebody cheaply. They put me in the movie and then they kill me. So I've actually been doing enough things now that they're not killing me anymore. I've got a movie coming out in January called Bow Art of War, where I play this Belgian judge, and I put away a Nazi. So
good.
And I don't die. My head doesn't fly off. So.
Nice. And now you've moved into acting and AARP.
I wouldn't call it acting. I would call it getting there and saying the dialogue properly and hopefully edited properly. I'm not quite that good. I'm trying, but
I'm pretty sure that's the dictionary definition of acting.
Oh man, there's so many good actors I've worked with that shit. That is actually me. That's a Halloween costume.
After a long day, right
that's
there.
Awesome
long face. I think I'd have to check the timeline. So this was 85, 85 or 86. I think I did this before the stretch face on Evil Dead 2.
Oh,
which,
good.
you know, which was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, this was just done for fun for Halloween. The mouth actually opened. I could actually smoke and drink.
Nice. That's very important.
Yeah, and this is back when V. Neal, the great V. Neal, used to have her Halloween party. So I had to look good. You know, I was still a youngster in the business, so I had to have a good makeup. Randy Cook, if you know that name, he actually helped apply this because applying to yourself sucks. So thanks to both of them.
Yeah, we had V on. We've had V on the show as well.
Oh, she's awesome. Yeah, she's such a legend.
Yeah, she's amazing. And I don't want to be the dickhead here who has to click this one, but this is where you can find Todd. I'm saying that, Todd, because we could do. I mean, I literally skipped over 10 pictures or more. We could do another hour with you, so we'd love to have you back anytime you want. Just hang out, have a doobie, and chat with us. We'll get a million pictures up. We'll get.
That was medicinal, by the way. That was medicinal.
Oh no. It could have been just oregano. It's okay. You know, put it over your
I love you guys doing all this stuff. I mean, not just you guys, but your sculptures are cool too. I mean, you're making friends as we talk.
It's fantastic. That's what we love about it. It's just a hangout with other artists, and we get to hear some great stories. It's fantastic.
So cool. Yeah, I would love to. Anytime you need me or whatever, I'm gonna start working on my butternut squash.
Maybe that's what we'll have to do next time we have you on. We're gonna have you carve a butternut.
We'll send you some. We'll send you some of our carving tools that are very specific. They're called clay tools. But,
I don't know if I'm worried.
You might have heard of them before.
I'm just like, you put that. Did you like put a nose on the one there, Paul, that you had?
No, I didn't put one on yet. I'm still feeling it out. I kind of shaped the nose. Let's see.
It's kind of tiki-like. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think the shape itself is lending it to that. But what I'll do is once this kind of gets changed, and obviously he's got to have some ears, and I get some more structure. Get rid of this bell shape at the bottom, and I got to do his teeth, and
it's so expressive. So amazing.
I was running photos, so I didn't get very far, but I blocked in a little bit here. Not very the best light, but I got this big guy started.
I love it.
Chunked out a little bit, so he's going to be. Was a surprise? Is that right? Surprise?
Yeah, surprised. I had to do it 3 times. Kept checking the chat. Like, oh shit, am I doing the wrong expression?
Yeah. That's how I used to do it. I used to get a mirror and just go.
Yeah.
Hey, when do we see these? When do we see do you guys do one next week or?
Yeah. So
I think next week's going to be the day after Christmas, so we probably won't have it. We'll have them. We'll both have them posted to our Instagrams by next week. Okay.
I'm following you.
We'll tag you on there, Todd, just so you know that it came out and we'll be done. At least we can say, all right, tools down, we're done.
Awesome. Well, I hope it didn't hurt too much.
That is the challenge. Besides, they don't last very long, Todd. If I could take 1 million years on them, I would, but time is of the essence.
Yeah. Film is forever.
Well, this is where you can find us. We're in all the little socials and all that fun stuff too. People are asking if we still have pumpkins. Yeah, I have probably 2 left, and they're about to shit the bed, so I better hurry to carve them anyway. But yeah, Todd, we couldn't be more thankful and gracious for your time and for hanging out with us. I mean, you've got a million things going on, but just a huge thank you to you.
Oh, fun! It was really cool to hang with you guys.
Oh, fantastic! Well, that does it for another episode of Carvers and Creators. Thank you again, Todd. Thank you, Maddie, for running the ship. And we will see you again next time on Carvers and Creators. Good night, guys.
Bye. Good night, guys. Happy holidays.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Oh, yeah. All that stuff.
Yeah.